So, the Phoenix Suns just beat the Lakers quite convincingly, 108-90, and I think this game, though obviously it is just one game and the Lakers are missing some significant pieces, has just shown the difference between these two teams this season and just how much better the Suns have been. And I'm going to talk about both teams a little bit and the game too. So starting with the Suns, because they did win, I think this team is just a machine led by Chris Paul that maximizes almost every possession. There's rarely a possession where they take a bad shot or you think, wow, they could have done a lot better there. They're always looking to generate the best shot, whether it's Chris Paul getting to the mid-range on the pick and roll, being able to find their big men. Ayton had 19 points today, JaVale McGee had 10, and then also guys like Devin Booker, well, not like Devin Booker specifically, who is able to knock down shots, had a few very big threes, and is playing very well. And then also having role players like Mikal Bridges and Jay Crowder and Cam Johnson who can hit threes and space the floor. It's just a team construction that really makes sense, where you have the guards who can score, you have spacing, you have defense, you have Ayton, who continues to be excellent on both ends of the court, and is always sprinting down the court, always setting good screens, always rolling to the rim for lobs. And it's just a team that is winning right now and playing very well, and they're making it look like last year wasn't a fluke at all. They're 25-5, best record in the NBA, and yeah, they look pretty unstoppable. And they're making me very confident about what they can do, not only for the rest of the regular season, but also in the playoffs. There is also potential that they can make a move at the deadline to add more depth. Though right now, I don't know what they need too much of. I thought this offseason looks very good right now, especially the JaVale McGee signing. Having someone who can sort of fill the role Ayton has, where he can set screens and roll to the rim and also defend. Had a couple of offensive rebounds tonight. And yeah, the Suns, I just thought they're excellent. They spaced the floor well. Even though they didn't have a good shooting night, they're able to sustain it through their defense, through Mikal Bridges, who has just been an absolutely excellent defender. Russell Westbrook had a post up on him where he scored, and then he rocked the baby. And in the rest of the game, I think Bridges blocked him once or twice and got a few steals. And he has been one of the best defenders this year. Definitely going to be on an all-defensive team, and maybe in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year if Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert weren't playing so well defensively. But yeah, he's one of the best wing defenders in the NBA. And yeah, overall, the Suns, very good. I was very impressed, and I think they're definitely a team who are in contention to come out of the West and to win the championship. They play the Warriors on Christmas, which now is looking like the best game of the day. The two best teams in the NBA so far. I'll be very excited to watch that. They're, of course, 1-1 so far this season, having played each other. Okay, now on to the Lakers. I mean, I think, first of all, Anthony Davis is out. He's out for 4 weeks, reevaluated in 4 weeks, so probably out longer than that, and that's worrying. They also have a few players in the health and safety protocol, a few players who just got out. Players out like Malik Monk, Austin Reeves, Kendrick Nunn still injured, Avery Bradley, Kent Bazemore, and then Dwight Howard, who just got out and didn't play today. So quite a few players out with various things, but still, I thought apart from LeBron, they were pretty poor. I think Isaiah Thomas and Horton Tucker will receive a lot of the blame because they shot 2 for 24 combined. I think Horton Tucker was over 8 for 3, Isaiah Thomas over 6, and yeah, that's pretty rough. But I think there's bigger issues than that, than just a bad shooting night, because the Suns had a bad shooting night too, and it didn't matter too much for them. And I think one of the biggest issues is they had a lineup where it was Rajon Rondo, Isaiah Thomas, Russell Westbrook, and Talen Horton-Tucker on the floor at the same time. And I mean, that is just, I know they have players out, but still, that just didn't work at all. They're small, they didn't have enough shooting too, and it really didn't work. I thought when they're at their best tonight, the Lakers, was when LeBron was at center, but of course, that's asking a lot. He had a scare with the ankle tonight, LeBron. He played really well, I thought, 34 points. I wonder how many of those types of performances he has left in his career where, he's getting to the rim a fair amount, had quite a few dunks, was hitting some of his mid-range shots. I thought LeBron was really good. I thought Westbrook in the first half was okay. I think Westbrook, he needs to attack, he needs to get downhill, and when he can't, I feel like the post-ups for Westbrook, it's not the worst thing. I don't know what the stats say. I think if I was assuming, they wouldn't be great, but I feel like it's better than him trying a contested long two, that's for sure. But yeah, more on the Lakers' issues. I think lack of shooting, that's one of them. Westbrook's not a good shooter. Rondo, I thought he added nothing because they already have playmakers on the floor between LeBron and Westbrook, and Rondo is just out there not spacing the floor and hurting them that way. And then Deandre Jordan, I think he's clearly not a starting caliber player in the NBA. He might not even be a rotation caliber player in the NBA. I thought he was very poor in his minutes. And then, Horton Tucker and Isaiah Thomas missing almost all their shots. I think Trevor Ariza was actually decent tonight. At least he's sort of playing defense. And then Melo, at least he can hit shots. But apart from Ariza and LeBron in stretches, I thought the Lakers' defense was really poor. There was a few times where they just didn't bother closing out to shooters and got lucky with the Suns missing threes. I mean, this could have been a blowout way earlier if the Suns had just made their open shots. And, you could say the same against the Lakers, but then again, a lot of the Horton Tucker shots he missed were a little bit contested, or the Isaiah Thomas shots too. So it's not like the Lakers just missed a bunch of wide open shots. They just weren't really creating great shots, especially in the minutes where LeBron wasn't on the floor. It was pretty much a disaster. And the Lakers are now 500, 16-16. They're firmly in the play-in area. If I look at the standings, they're 16-16, 500. They're just in that 7, 8, 9 area. There's a little bit of gap to the Kings and the Blazers, who are the 10 and 11 seeds at 13 and 19. But with Anthony Davis out, the Lakers could definitely be looking at a play-in spot for this season, which, it's pretty rough given that, they entered the seasons with expectations of being near the top of the Western Conference and to be a championship contender. So it's really not looking good in terms of how they survive without Anthony Davis. I mean, I think they have a couple of pretty big games coming up. The Spurs, Nets, Rockets, Grizzlies, Blazers. These are they need to beat the Blazers. They need to beat the Spurs. And I think in terms of some things they can do, obviously they need quite a bit from Westbrook and LeBron. I think they need to get Westbrook downhill, which, they're doing a bit with transition opportunities, but we're a couple months into the season now, and I haven't seen too many creative things to do that. And then I think LeBron at center, I feel like it's their best lineup right now, because when he sets screens and you can space the floor around him and Russell Westbrook, they look very dangerous. But, again, that's asking a lot of LeBron, so we'll see. We'll see if Dwight Howard comes back and they can give him something. We'll see if playing, maybe a combination of LeBron, Ariza, and Carmelo Anthony gives them enough size where LeBron doesn't have to do all the rebounding and, defending of the big men, but he can still pretty much play center on offense. I think that could be an idea. And we'll just see what they come up with. I think this is an important stretch because Anthony Davis is out. He hasn't been good this season. So they're going to need to start picking up some wins, or else they could be in a pretty tough spot in the play-in come playoff time. But anyways, thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more media content.